Hello, we are here for one more lesson of this AxisVM training course. Today we are going to see something called the RC design, and it will be split in two videos. So today it is part one. I'm using a model that I highly recommend you can see the example we've created and published already also in our YouTube channel. And among other things, we show also some concepts of this RC design. We are going to talk briefly about these topics because either in that video and others we have, as also in our theoretical course and other materials we publish in our area 51, our reserved area. You can see a lot of details that this specific topic has in itself. So RC design is a specific item here. In fact, this is a reinforcement design, and it has in itself a lot of different functionalities which correspond also to different modules of AxisVM. I will not speak in the models itself. I will cover some of the functions. So RC design, as I said, is a reinforcement option. And we can start showing this by this function here, which are the reinforcement parameters. I will open simply the dialog box to show you what we have. So in the reinforcement parameters, following the arrow codes, we can define materials in terms of concrete. We have also some parameters for defining steels for the rebars, structural classes. We can define in both surfaces, top surface and bottom surfaces of the elements, the exposition class, and we have a lot of them, so we can go with all of these. We have several coefficients for, like you see in this one, for seismic forces and also to deal with nonlinear analysis. In terms of reinforcements, okay, we have also a lot of parameters. We can work this option with the actual thickness. We can have parameters for the eccentricity. We have the possibility to deal with the diameters of the covers and applying directions, load transfers, and reinforcement directions. So we have a lot of things. We can also have the cracking, and with the cracking, we can have a cracking analysis, saying this on the other way. So we can deal with cracking, and you can read about it also in our theoretical side. And we can deal also with shear and define the angle of shear reinforcement and the angle of shear crack. So when we work with all of this, and let us run this, simply do OK. Okay, we get some messages. I'm not particularly worried about this message at this time. Then we have functions, for example, this one for the actual reinforcement. And in this function, the user are able to apply an actual reinforcement to the surface elements, of course, depending on the calculated reinforcements. So we can have these directions, we can have dimensions and the reinforcements, then we can choose whatever we want and define these parameters. We can have also this function here that, okay, I'm choosing by default this, so we can work with these the beam reinforcement parameters, uniaxial bending. We can define cross sections. We can define also the environment classes and deal with all of these parameters. We have the possibilities to work and define stirrups and parameters for the stirrups, parameters of these bars, internal forces, angles, with cracking also, and the actual reinforcement. Okay, I will. Okay, I don't have a rectangle cross section, so I cannot open this one, but I can try to choose. I'm not sure if this is rectangular or not. Okay, this one it is. And I can have also the actual reinforcement against uniaxial bending the beams. So I can deal with this also under this function. I can have also this function here, which is the actual reinforcement against biaxial bending, which is, let me choose also one of these. I get a dialog box also that allow me to deal with my section. So I can define these things. I can apply rebars. Okay, I can deal with a lot of parameters also in this function. I have also this function here that display results. Okay, and I can go under these guys. This is something that we've seen already in other modules. And continuing with this side of the RC design, we have a lot of different details in the error codes and parameters for all of these things. We go to this side and we have something called the column reinforcement that corresponds in fact to RC2 module. So and I get this kind of dialog box where I can deal with buckling parameters, all of this. I can change directions. I can deal with the materials. I can deal with the type of rebar, steel, nonlinear analysis taken into account or not, working with stirrups or not. Okay, a lot of things. And seismic coefficients, and we can have them under certain conditions also. This is a very brief description of all of these things because, as I told you, there are a lot of theoretical details and concepts behind this. So this is basically to highlight the major topics from this, as we need to have a deeper knowledge and explanation about these topics. Anyway, if you need more clarifications, more explanations about these topics, let us know. We will give you all the necessary support, but again, we invite you to consult other sources of information that we have available also either in our YouTube channel and also in our website.